Greetings, my good bitches. The name's Francis, Coke Francis. I'm an editor, Twitch streamer, drag artist, and I'm here because it breaks my cold gay heart to say this, but I'm no longer defending the Met Gala because I am a queen of the people. But Francis, if you're a queen of the people, why did you ever defend the Met Gala in the first place? About a year ago, I made a video about the 2025 Met Gala, where I roasted the worst looks and absolutely gagged over the best ones. There's also a lot to be said about last year's theme, which actually held cultural relevance. And I will always stand by the statement that fashion is art. I looked past the glorification of celebrities. I looked past the sacrilegious amounts of money spent on a big fluffy rich people party. I acknowledged why people saw the Met Gala as tone deaf and unnecessary. And I emphasized that the Met Gala is a fundraiser for the preservation of historical fashion. But something just feels off this year. The theme felt vague. The outfits were underwhelming. The whole thing felt like it was wrapped in plastic and unceremoniously dumped on our social media feeds with no regard for the people who made it possible. Almost like getting an Amazon delivery. I wonder why Oh, Jesus. Yellow penguins, god damn it, son of a— Well, my predictions for this event only getting worse came true because I'm right about everything. Yet another art form and or vehicle for self-expression has been bought out by Lex Luthor and the Joker for 10 million buckaroos. Because billionaires, with their King Midas dogshit hands, leave a wake of destruction everywhere they go in a desperate search for cultural clout. Because we have the one thing that they don't, which is basic likability, coolness. They want to be cool so bad. Look at us. We care about the arts. We can totally slay. We definitely won't look like a spiritually broken suburban mom living out her lost prom nights. If there was any hope of the Met Gala belonging to the people again, kiss her goodbye. And in case you haven't noticed, this isn't going to be one of my funnier videos. Here's your heads up. It's been a while since I've done a good old-fashioned capitalism rant, and I think this is the perfect time to do so. But don't despair, because even though the Met Gala might not belong to us, the art of fashion still does. The event is facing more backlash than ever before, from both the working class and the invitees who stayed home because of the Bezos problem. The Met Gala might feel different this year, but so do the protests against it, and these people are truly the real heroes. May the pillows of these protesters always remain cool on both sides. It's a feeling I've been able to experience every night on my brand new mattress with the Glaciotex cooling pillow top, courtesy of today's sponsor, Helix. Spring has finally sprung, and it's a perfect time to reset and refresh your sleep space. And what better way to do that than investing in a new mattress? Helix Sleep makes premium mattresses and bedding that are customized to fit your personal needs, combining innovative technology and high-quality materials to deliver only the comfiest of sleeps. They have over 20 unique mattresses and mattress toppers to choose from, with different levels of firmness, and supportive hybrid designs for back, side, and stomach sleepers. But Francis, I don't know the first darn thing about mattresses. How do I know which one to buy? This is where Helix especially comes in clutch. By taking the Helix Sleep Quiz, you'll be matched with the perfect mattress based on your body type and sleep preferences. For example, I tend to sleep on my side, and I frequently have back issues from having to carry this entire show. So I was matched with the Twilight mattress, which is perfect for side sleepers, and its firm feel and pressure point relief earned a Best for Back Pain Forbes vetted badge. One of my least favorite feelings in the world is waking up in the middle of the night drenched in sweat for absolutely no reason whatsoever. So I also got the Glaciotex cooling pillow top, a plush top fabric that feels blissfully cool every time I get into bed. And if you want an even chiller sleep, Helix has also just added added a new member to the family, the Comfort Adjust Cooling Pillow. The one that remains cool on both sides. The one these protesters deserve. Just like their mattresses, the pillow is customizable to support all sleep preferences and positions, and keeps you cool all night with the Glaciotex heat conductive fabric. Helix also delivers right to your door with free shipping in the US, rolled up in a box, and very easy to set up. They also offer a 120-night sleep trial to test your mattress out and ensure that you'll enjoy spending a third of your life in it. All Helix mattresses come with a lifetime warranty and offer seamless returns and exchanges. So don't sleep on better sleep, and go to helixsleep.com/QueenCokeFrancis to take advantage of their Memorial Day sale, where they're offering 27% off site-wide. Just click the link in the description or scan the QR code right next to my very handsome face. And with that, back to our regularly scheduled programming. So the theme of last year's Met Gala was superfine tailoring black style, which was a very much needed tribute to the black dandyism aesthetic, which celebrates black reclamation, style, and rebellion against gender and social norms. It was also the first Met Gala since 2003 to focus on men's fashion, which makes it hold even more cultural relevance as we live in this timeline where men think using a straw is gay. There were 12 black designers featured that year, and unsurprisingly, most of their designs were amongst the best of the best. There were plenty of gorgeous and or over-the-top looks that absolutely personified high fashion, but they didn't quite fit the theme, and they didn't quite understand the assignment. But the ones that did fit the black dandyism theme, last year's gala debuted some looks that genuinely took my breath away. Like, actually gagged. Like Janelle Monáe's steampunk surrealism look by Paul Tazewell and Tom Brown, which included the first ever ethically made diamond. Jodie Turner-Smith's ensemble by Law Roach, which was inspired by a famous black equestrian during the Belle Epoque era. Or Teyana Taylor's look by Ruth E. Carter, the first black person to win and be nominated in that category, and the first black woman to win multiple Oscars in any category. This is the artistry and cultural relevance that we should be celebrating. This is exactly why I made the argument in favor of the Met Gala preserving historical fashion. But, and there's always a big ol' but, there was an undeniable irony in these rich celebrities cashing in on identity politics, while the people they claim to be representing continue to get poorer and more disenfranchised. Especially because it costs 75,000 buckaroos to attend the Met Gala in 2025, and it now costs 100,000 buckaroos in the beer of our Lord 2026. We sure have come a long way from the first Met Gala in 1948, where it only cost $50 to get in, adjusted to about $663 for inflation. They raised a record $31 million last year, and they raised a new record of $42 million this year. Apparently, this year's theme was in part due to the Costume Institute finally being given its own gallery, after hiding in the Met's basement since World War II. And this decision does reaffirm the idea that costuming and fashion is just as legitimate of an art as anything else. This year's theme was costume art. Okay, and? Is that not what we've been doing this whole time? So Andrew Bolton, the curator-in-chief, said that the theme argues that fashion, aka the dressed body, is the common thread connecting every other gallery in the museum. According to Bolton, he considered costume art through the lens of various kinds of bodies, most importantly, including bodies that the public doesn't always like to see. Pregnant bodies, disabled bodies, even just nude or naked bodies. Knowing that the Kardashians would probably take that last one a bit too literally, the official dress code for the Met Gala 2026 was "Fashion is art." And I'm 14, and this is deep. And such a basic bitch of a concept is so fitting for what's been dubbed the Tech Gala. Sigh. I guess I'll do a quick best and worst just to give the designers their flowers at least. Because remember, we always support artists finding work in the Coke Francis Extended Universe. Yeah, sure. Cue the music, I guess. Okay, here's one that I genuinely did love. Sabrina Carpenter's look made entirely out of film strips. Film major here, I go absolutely weak in the knees for shit like this. Absolutely nailed the old Hollywood aesthetic, fits perfectly, and those are the negatives for the movie Sabrina. Perfect. On the opposite end of the spectrum, we've got Cardi B in the Sisty Pig boils from Outer Worlds. No wonder Kanye once asked if Marc Jacobs was in fact a real person. Another favorite of mine is Emma Chamberlain's look. This is absolutely gorgeous. It looks like a melting Renaissance painting, and I mean that in the best way possible. Oh look, Katy Perry is trying to remind us that she went to space, as if we'd give a shit this time. If you tell a joke and it wasn't funny the first time, telling it again won't make it funnier. I can't do this. Cut the music. Cut the gay music. My gay ass can't do this. Not just because I'm bored out of my mind looking at most of these, but something smells here. It's not hitting the way it used to. Just after everything that's happened in the past year and a half, it just doesn't work anymore. We've officially outgrown this shit. This event is dead, and it's these two shiny-faced fucking lunatics who killed it. 2026 marked the first year that Jeff and Lauren Bezos would cosplay as Met Gala chairs, because they paid to be. See, it wasn't enough that what should be a celebration and preservation of an important art form will forever be associated with the ultra-wealthy and celebrity culture. It wasn't enough that the Silicon Valley pricks already owned everything. They won't be satisfied until they infect every single aspect of our lives and culture. The director of Cerullo was right about everything. This is far from the first time the Bezoses have awkwardly colonized their way into the fashion world. And they're far from the first billionaires to do so lately. A lot of these freaks have been making their modeling debuts in the past year. Colonel founder Brian Johnson just did his little turn at Paris Fashion Week, looking like an alien seeing its reflection for the first time. Zuckerberg attended Milan Fashion Week dressed as that cousin who brings cigars to Thanksgiving to look cool. That weird kid who got outmogged by a hot Australian reporter was at New York Fashion Week. He's not a billionaire, but holy hell, he sure is as annoying as one. We live in a timeline where the billionaires, the tech bros, the looks maxers, the loneliest people in the goddamn world who somehow have enough money to make their loneliness everyone else's problem. It's the same way how fascists who are rejected from the arts continue to make it everyone else's problem. The Met Gala turned into the ultimate status symbol, and let's be real, a recession indicator. And the most unlikable people in the world were not about to miss out on it. Because much of the fashion industry has turned into something exclusive and inaccessible to the working class, it's now simply a measure of cultural clout, and billionaires and tech bros saw it fit to buy their way onto the guest list. They don't give a f about fashion or art in general. If they did, they would actually provide funding to artists and art institutions. Jeffy could fund every single art museum in the world for eternity if he wanted to, but he doesn't. None of them do. They resent people with actual talent and skill. They don't care about the humanity that goes into art and design because they themselves are not human. They care about living forever, being liked, and sticking their dick into everything and calling it their legacy. I should name my dick that.
Don't they already have everything money can buy? They've accumulated $275 billion by forcing Amazon workers to pee in bottles so as to not take bathroom breaks, brokering billion-dollar contracts with the Israeli government and military, selling data infrastructure to ICE, the list goes on. Their colonization of the planet stands in direct opposition to the very nature of art, which is creation. They only know how to destroy. You people have literally everything. Why can't you at least just Leave us alone.
No, it simply wasn't enough. They just had to shove their fingers into the fashion world the way Gordon Ramsay fingers raw chicken. And the result of Jeff and Lauren Bezos buying out the Met Gala, the result of two people who could pay the bills of every person on Earth several times over, taking over the ultimate fashion showcase, the one that helps fund this art form in the first place. This year's Met Gala reflects the bland, corporate, soulless, and dystopian world that they helped create. And there was so much backlash, they couldn't even show their faces on the red carpet. Well, Jeff couldn't anyway. Zuckerberg couldn't either. They literally had to sneak in through the back like a couple of middle schoolers trying to see an R-rated movie. Lord only knows they'd get a jar of acid to the face and end up looking like Lauren. Oh, but she was on that red carpet. This bitch spent $10 million just to look like a 20-something lizard in an overpriced prom dress. As infuriating as this is, take comfort in knowing just how pathetic that is. Chances are, if you're watching this, you're probably not a billionaire, and you'll never be reduced to doing something this desperate.
Here's what I'll say about the Met Gala. It was tacky, it was gauche, and it was kind of dystopian. And when the serfs are calling the technocrat kings and queens gauche and tacky, you've got a problem. You're doing it wrong. And this is coming from someone wearing like a very old Blue Note sweater and a Popeyes tank top they got 10 years ago.
So who else had the audacity to appear on the red carpet? Because it wasn't just Bezos and Zuckerberg who showed up. It was the entire clown car of tech bros who bought their way in. Oh, are we doing this again? Alright, I mean, I guess it was time we got some roasts in. It is a me video, after all. Okay, so first up is Sergey Brin, co-founder of Google, who found out last minute that this was the Met Gala and not his friend's 4th wedding in 3 years. I actually don't think the idea itself was bad, but we're looking at Joy Villa levels of execution here. Maybe it's just the angle, but either his pants are really badly tailored, or homie's got some seriously short legs. Either way, the inseam length or lack thereof is definitely giving loaded up Pampers. Here's Adam Mosseri, who actually does frequently attend the Met Gala and still hasn't figured out quite exactly what it is or what you're supposed to do there. So the result is another slightly zesty suit that you might see an art teacher wear to graduation. All that's missing is a piano tie. Next up is Slack CEO Stuart Butterfield. Now, his lady did actually understand the assignment. I'm not crazy about the execution in the middle, but this bodice that looks exactly like a real wood carving is actually pretty damn cool. It's such a shame that this alien trying to mimic human creativity is cramping her style so badly. Did he try pulling a thread from the bottom of his pants and it just kept going until it was super bunched up and then there was nothing he can do? God, I hate it when that happens. Here's Mr. I use a bow and arrow when I go hunting, but I actually have no idea what the maker model I use is. In a classic tux at his very first Met Gala, like Bezos, Zuckerberg is a tourist in fashion and art in general because he doesn't actually care about it. He also sees it merely as a tool for whitewashing his image and for cultural relevance because he desperately wants to be cool, but didn't realize that treating the Met Gala as just another black tie affair would make him look even worse. And here's Priscilla Chan in the dress of all time. TikTok CEO Shozi Chu also made his debut in another cookie cutter tux, but he at least spiced it up with a little silver brooch he bought with Larry Ellison's money. And finally, we've got Evan Spiegel, the founder of Snapchat, an app I never learned to use. I genuinely think these guys did not know what the Met Gala was at all. Like, they thought everyone else was just dressing up for their health or something. And his wife, Miranda Kerr, is in the other dress of all time. Alright, cut the gay music again. I hated every second of that. So while Anna Wintour and her f***ass Bob tried defending her decision to let Bezos finger the Met Gala, there were a number of invitees who boycotted the event because of it. 5-time Met Gala attendee Bella Hadid backed out, despite Gigi still showing up. Taraji P. Henson stayed home after attending the Met Gala 3 times, commenting on a video criticizing the event, quote, "I am so confused by some people that are going. I'm just like, what the f*** are we doing? Model Brianna Hawley stayed home, despite her husband Nicholas Hoult showing up to show solidarity with the other Lex Luthor. Our boy Zohran Mamdani became the first New York City mayor to skip out on the gala since 2002, despite Anna Wintour and her f***ass Bob trying to butter up Rama Douaji with compliments. Quote, "I'm full of admiration for New York City's new First Lady because she looks so cool and wears a lot of vintage, young and modern, and also entirely herself." I bet you are. You know what else is cool? Not selling out an art form to people who destroy everything they touch. Anna, Zendaya, Billy Porter, Ariana Grande, Olivia Rodrigo, and Julia Roberts also stayed home, though it's unclear as to whether or not they did so out of a boycott or because they were too busy or whatever. Even Meryl Streep skipped out on her new co-chair role that she was just given. And our final celebrity boycott came from none other than Mark Ruffalo, who hasn't attended the gala since the Obama administration. He decided to amplify other voices instead, which we will get to in just a hot minute. So what does this mean for the celebrities that did attend? I hate to say this, but complicity and class solidarity. Rich people all hate each other, but they always still turn out for one another, which is why they keep getting away with shit like this. The art of fashion made its way to the hands of the rich, meaning this trajectory for the Met Gala was inevitable. And I know some of y'all are in the comments ready and waiting with bated breath to be like, well, I never supported the Met Gala. I've always hated it. I've always said it's nothing more than celebrity glorification, and that it's a disgusting display of wealth and posturing. And I can't believe you would even care about something as frivolous as this. Oh, well then. Congratulations! You're so much of a better person than me, aren't you? Good for you. It must feel so good being a better person than old Coke Francis, huh? The reason I pay attention to the Met Gala isn't because I can't wait to see my favorite stars or anything. I don't know who half of these idiots are. I just love fashion. I love celebrating it and critiquing it. And I love seeing genuine artistry that sometimes takes my goddamn breath away. I've continuously supported the argument that the Met Gala was a fundraiser for the arts, because that's what it started out as back in the 1940s and nothing more. Not some opulent celebrity spectacle that glorifies wealth while the rest of the world can barely afford to survive. And I hate that that's what it is. But I am so tired of people who support the arts but still dismiss fashion as something not important and frivolous. It couldn't possibly be because it's an art form dominated by women and femmes and gay people in a patriarchal society. Could it? But like I said earlier, I can't look at it that way anymore. Yes, the Met Gala has been a playground for the rich for a long time, but now that it's in a chokehold by the most destructive, demonic forces on the planet, it's a lot harder to focus on the artistry, and that makes me really sad. Insert the Devil Wears Prada joke here. You can feel the gigantic gray cloud that's been cast above this event. The biggest gatekeeper in fashion left the gates wide open if it meant money from exploited workers, ICE contracts, Israeli partnerships, and Trump campaign donations. Sure, the Costume Institute has more funding now, but at what cost to its reputation? Anna Wintour and her f***ass Bob were, quote, genuinely shocked by how hostile this has become. Like, she allows one of the most hated men on the planet to be the main sponsor behind one of the most hated events in the world by the working class, and she's just surprised Pikachu face about it. As PR Manifesto Girl put it, quote, the sponsorship generated more sustained scrutiny of Bezos' broader record than staying invisible would have. This is worth noting, not as a cautionary tale about any specific donor, but as a data point about the conditions under which cultural association strategies succeed or reverse in this day and age. The people who actually make the Met Gala possible aren't just the artists, but the production crews, the caterers, the event planners, the custodial and security staff, the publicists and journalists who cover the event and make it the phenomenon that it is. And if there's one silver lining to come out of this, as the gala faces more scrutiny than ever before, more and more people are starting to understand this, I think, and understand that it is an event that's greater than the superficiality it projects. And not only are the people speaking out, they are starting to take back what is rightfully theirs. Meet Everyone Hates Elon, the activist group that's been plastering New York City with Boycott the Bezos Met Gala posters, or covering up Steve Madden ads with tear gas on the red carpet, subway ads that say, Jeff Bezos proudly presents the Met and enabling ICE, bus stop posters with Bezos in his little ICE uniform, sneaking special merch into the Met gift shop, pointing big f*** you projectors at the Empire State Building, the Chrysler Building, and Bezos's $120 million New York penthouse. But Francis, the billionaires and Met Gala attendees aren't on the streets with the unwashed masses. How are they going to see this messaging? Easy! They also left 300 bottles of fake urine with Jeffy's face on it all over the Met Museum. A direct response to Amazon employees being forced to piss in bottles because they can't take bathroom breaks. Looks like they sure took the piss out of the billionaires. But getting back to our based king Mark Ruffalo really quick, Mark collaborated with Everyone Hates Elon and the Union Amazon Cause in a post delivering the final and, in my opinion, most important message. Brought to you by Mary Hill, co-founder of Amazon Cause and one of the most badass women to ever grace the walls of New York City.
Jeff Bezos, my name is Mary Hill. I am a 72-year-old warehouse worker at one of your facilities. When we struggle from paycheck to paycheck, from week to week, really angers me. Because if it weren't for every associate in every Amazon facility, he wouldn't have all those zeros behind his name. Shame on you, Jeff Bezos. The people that need to be being celebrated at the Met Gala are the workers, people like me. We deserve that celebration. We deserve so much more than we're getting. There's power in numbers, and there's more of us than there are of you. Remember, Jeff, ordinary people like myself that helped make you billionaires, if we built it, we can tear it down. Think about that tonight, okay? After that bottle of champagne when you go to bed. We're gonna keep growing, and we're gonna keep building, and we're gonna keep protesting, and we're gonna keep marching, and we're gonna keep fighting this dystopian culture. We're not stopping, we're just getting cranked up. Enjoy your damn gala.
They really hit Bezos with the Shido calling card in Persona 5.
You're not gonna sit back and watch some crook wreck this country just because of his goddamn ego. Ain't that right, leader?
What do you think Bezos' palace would look like since the spaceport was already taken? Do leave your thoughts below if you know what the hell I'm talking about. I know you're out there. Is there even anything else that needs to be said at this point? Is there any possible opinion or argument against this? And before I get any chuds deciding to play devil's advocate, or whatever term they use as an excuse to be an annoying contrarian bootlicker, stop. I don't care what you have to say. This is the mic drop moment of all mic drop moments. And believe it or not, you can actually help Mary retire comfortably. Amazon Cause has a link to her GoFundMe in their bio. Which brings us to the next step in taking this back from the weird nerds with all of the money and no culture. The Ball Without Billionaires, a fashion show in Manhattan's meatpacking district, where the only models were Amazon, Whole Foods, Washington Post, Starbucks, and Uber unionizers. Absolutely slaying in runway fits created by immigrant designers.
Every year, the first Monday in May, the Met Gala tells a story about who matters, who gets seen, who gets celebrated. Well, this year, we decided to center us. We decided to make ourselves the protagonists, the heroes of our story, to celebrate ourselves and to live our joy out loud. Because culture does not come from the billionaires. It does not come from those who profit and exploit our labor. Culture comes from the creatives and the designers who keep this place vibrant. It comes from the hands that stitch the garments. It comes from the workers who move the packages, from the caregivers who hold communities together, from the people who make every little thing run. And that's why we're here, because labor is art.
I wasn't kidding about my sponsor intro. May the pillows of these people remain cool on both sides forever. God, I wish I had enough time to analyze every single look on this runway. I unfortunately had very little time to put this video together, and I don't have any interest in roasting the looks at this event because that would be a hella dick move. Are you kidding me? I might be a supervillain, but I'm not an asshole, okay? So I will highlight some of my favorites. So the interesting thing about this look is that none of the pieces seemingly go together, and yet they do. Like this one cocktail I had in Japan that was scotch, chardonnay, apple, honey, and mustard. Impossibly delicious. I can't explain it. I especially love this little mini jacket because it reminds me of Aerith from Final Fantasy VII. Is anyone surprised the queen herself is here? Mary showed up in some high art teacher drip, and I know that sounds like a read because everything that comes out of my mouth is sarcastic, but this is absolutely an outfit that your most fashionable teacher would wear, and then you'd be like, love the fit, Mrs. Hill, and then pray that she would bump your grade up to a B. What I love about this one is that if one of the Jenners wore this, everybody would be eating it the f up, while she's here eating harder than any of them did at the Met Gala this year. Also, girl, that runway walk. This is one I'd absolutely wear myself. It kind of reminds me of Walton Goggins' look at the Met Gala last year, which I included in my favorites. Love, love, love that they included a hijabi model in this. Gorgeous fit, gorgeous colors. This was definitely my favorite men's look of the bunch because it's simple and casual, which is what makes it look like it could be expensive. Like you'd wear it on a luxury vacation in Cuba or somewhere in Central America. Big fan of this denim look. This one also looks like it could be a Tom Brown design. I guess my only critique is that the pants are so close to matching the jacket, but not quite. Not that it needs to be all matchy-matchy, but don't listen to me. Okay. I'm including this one for obvious reasons. I've definitely seen this look at DragCon, and I especially love the gold crown headband she's wearing. The hardest fits, in my opinion, came with a performance from the boutique house of Martine Rose, which is the most Paris is burning ass name possible, and I mean that as a compliment, truly. These looks are giving School of Rock, but this time they are not tacky, and I do not hate them. Can anyone out there teach me how to Vogue? Because every time I try to, my bisexual ass just ends up doing the Macarena. So now we're at the part of the video, as most of my capitalism rant videos go, where I try to offer up a little John Oliver where do we go from here conclusion. How do we take back the art of fashion from the grotesque displays of wealth that it's now associated with? Well, the ball without billionaires is a fantastic start. It's the ultimate working class fashion show, and it wasn't anything to sneeze at. This show made major headlines in publications like The Hollywood Reporter, Bazaar, and The New York Times, and the protests were significant enough not only to land on national news, but Miss Anna Wintour, with her ass bob, actually held a crisis meeting before the gala began because of this. It did get under their skin, and they are very uncomfortable, which is also why Amazon unionizer Chris Smalls was violently detained while protesting outside the gala.
What's going on, Jeff? Remember me, the fired Amazon worker that you signed off on the smear campaign, calling me not smart or articulate, but you also said to make me the face of the whole unionizing efforts against Amazon.
I really hope to see more fashion shows like this one, and not just as a way to protest the Met Gala, but as year-round events with seasonal looks. You can support small creators and designers and brands that operate ethically. You can support the unions that made Ball Without Billionaires possible, or unions like the RWDSU or the Model Alliance, which fights for better working conditions for models and garment workers. You can support support local drag, which you should have been doing anyway. The Met Gala will never again be what it started as, and it will never be attainable to the working class. But do we really need it to be? We're already out here doing our own thing. And remember, we can keep admiring the spectacular looks and artistry seen on that red carpet, while still criticizing the event itself. We can acknowledge the importance of preserving historical fashion, while hating where all of that money is coming from and why. But unless something changes, I'm not going to be making Met Gala videos for the foreseeable future anymore. Anywho, thanks for sticking with me for a not quite as funny video as usual. So let's lighten the mood with some winning comments from the last video. Also, no, that cruise was not the one with hantavirus. The reason I made the disclaimer at the beginning was because I knew people were going to ask why I didn't make any jokes about it, which is why I said that I wrote and filmed it before the thing was announced. So just to clear that up, no, the gay conservative cruise was not also the hantavirus cruise. I ended up getting even more comments asking me that, so my bad, I guess. Ghostington VR says, cruise sponsored by the Democratic Church of America. God, you guys just get it. You know, you all just get it. I love you. I love you so much. Hi Envy says, despite being in the ocean, the conservative gay cruise has unseated the Atacama Desert as the driest place on earth. So this one actually made me kind of emotional, and I hope it's okay that I'm giving you a shout out because it's kind of a sensitive topic, but receiving comments like this genuinely makes my day, and it reminds me why I keep doing that. Like, on the days where I really don't feel like doing this, I mean, I have to because it's my job, but on the days where I really don't feel like doing this, or I feel like I'm not, you know, doing anything worthwhile or important, I will receive comments like this, and it reminds me that what I'm doing still means something, and that means a lot to me. Anyway, Rabbit Corpse 02W says, hey Francis, I wanted to let you know that your videos have gotten me through some dark times in my life. I turned 18 a few days ago, and it's pretty surreal for me, probably because I wasn't expecting to make it this far. Looking back on this year, I think it's because of videos like yours that allows me to laugh and have hope that the world can heal. Thank you for all of your witty jokes, entertaining videos, and fabulous outfits, because it's one of the main reasons why I'm able to keep going. Yeah, that actually means the world to me. Thank you for telling me that, and thank you for still going, and I'm glad you're still here, truly. You too could be featured in the next video. Leave a comment below, and I will pick my favorite ones and give you a shout out next time. But if you'd like to guarantee your name be featured at the end of every video, please consider joining my Patreon. If you join any of the membership tiers that are conveniently named after Fallout protagonists, your name will be mentioned at the end of every video. You might also get other cool stuff like access to my Discord, behind the scenes content on how I make my wigs, ad-free and uncensored versions of my videos. So if you love my content and my drag, you can support this channel directly by clicking the link to my Patreon in the description box. And if you'd like to give your money to a much more worthy cause, I'm currently helping to sponsor a beautiful family who's fighting for survival in the horrific ongoing genocide in Gaza. All funds go directly to food and resources, shelter, healthcare, and education for the kiddos. The link is in the description, and even just sharing the link is extremely helpful if you are unable to donate. I know we're all kind of strapped for cash right now. If you would like to see me simp for my favorite game characters and get visibly frustrated in real time, please follow me on Twitch. But if you have better things to do on the weekends, you can catch my favorite streams on my brand new gaming channel, Queen Coke Francis Live. I post new streams there weekly, and I will be holding regular polls in my community tab on what you'd like to see me play next. And if you'd like to see even more of my clown mug elsewhere, please consider following me on Instagram or Blue Sky. My handle for all of the above is @QueenCokeFrancis. If you enjoyed this video and you haven't done so already, please make your grand debut on that red carpet. And when someone asks who you're wearing, say, me, bitch, before going ahead and unzipping your pants and dick slapping those like and subscribe buttons as hard as you can. Thank you again to Helix for sponsoring this video, and thank you to all my patrons and subscribers who keep this channel going. And, of course, as always, until next time,